So sometimes, actually most of the time, when we love teaching, we love it completely and fully. And when you love it like that, you never really leave it at the door. It's one of these principles of being a teacher, which is why I love this next question. The reader writes, "Dear Sarah, I want to know how a spouse supports her teacher husband in handling school stress. What can I do? Sincerely, my spouse loves to teach." Okay, first of all, I have to tell you, this is a beautiful question. And every teacher out there wants to hug you right now, because there's just this incredible, empathy that is behind this. And that's what teachers need, right? They need an army of love and support behind them. But I have to say this question is not really just about spouses or partners. It's also about families and friends. It's about anyone who loves a teacher. So let me say this. There are some things about being a teacher that nobody really understands until they're actually in the classroom. And I say this with love, but just because people have been in classrooms, it doesn't mean that they understand a classroom, right? It's a very different experience to be a teacher. In fact, it reminds me of running track when I was in high school. Here's the thing. I did all kinds of sports. But track taught me the most about life, partially because I was never built to be a runner, even though I do it all the time. And second of all, because when you put your foot on the starting line and you run around that track, there is no one to blame but yourself, right? It's you and that track. When I walk into a classroom, it is me and those kids, right? I am putting my foot on the line day after day after day. And I know that that's what your husband is doing. For all of you out there who love teachers, that's what they're doing. They're putting their foot on the line. And I will tell you that it takes so much vulnerability to be good at this work. And the more vulnerable you are, the better you are. The better you want to be, the more vulnerable you have to be. It's kind of like this law of the universe, right? About what it means to be a teacher. And so this is what teaching feels like every day. And I have to say that when it grabs you, it will grab all of you. So it's grabbed all of your spouse, right? And so just knowing and recognizing what this means, I think, is really important and key. I also think you need to know about Friday nights and Sunday nights, okay? So here's the deal about Friday nights. Friday nights, you're exhausted, you're tired, you don't want to make another decision. Like you've made, 100,000 decisions. That might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but maybe not. And you've made all of these decisions all week long, and you don't want to decide what to have for dinner on Friday night. So that's a really important tip. The second thing is Sunday night. So Sunday nights are interesting for teachers because you got to get back in your zone, right? Even though it's home time, it's hobby time, it's family time, whatever, you're still like getting back in that space. And so you kind of have to be, I think, cognizant of what that space really means. But so please, when you want to support a teacher that you love, let us go into it. Right? Let us fall into this work because our students need us to. But just as much, we need your help because you need to help pull us out of it. I say this over and over, we teach who we are, and if we don't get pulled out of it, we won't have anything to teach from. So we also need that. More importantly, maybe most importantly, this is the thing that few teachers like to talk about, but know that every teacher worries that they won't have enough love to go around, right? That they won't have enough love for all of those kids who come through their door. They won't have enough love for their own children and their own families or their own friends. So we need your help. We need you to remind us that we are enough and that the love we have will be great enough and it will make a difference for the kids in our classrooms and the people outside of them.